Alrighty, let's just get to it, shall we? I'm John Renton with my review of WWE NXT 2 weeks ago until spring break in. Break in. You know, NXT used to actually be something that featured pretty good storylines and not shit writing, and at least a show that flowed pretty well. There are elements of the current NXT that work, and then there are elements that make me think that all the creative staff, as well as Shawn Michaels, has sustained several major head injuries before this particular show went on the air. So recast of last week's show, and Steiner's turn. Even though if you think about it, Trick and Mello did cheat to win, so did Steiner really turn heel? Well, yes, in the eyes of the fans, I guess. So here's Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. I'm going to kind of put some of the nicknames aside and try to come up with other ones. Plus, Trick has actually been doing some good shit for pretty much the last year. So the whole tricky-ticky thing, going to the wayside. They talk their talk, as the kids say. And he says about Steiner, you didn't pass anything to me, I took it. Leaned over and took it. And also, apparently, there's a 4-way contenders match tonight to determine who will face Carmelo Hayes. And he wants Steiner in it, because he wants to get his revenge. And Dragon Lee then shows up. He's in the 4-way. Then JD McTuna shows up. And the smoke machine was left on. Damn it, Frank, you had one job. Get over that rainbow to that pot of gold. Yes, a leprechaun joke. To be fair, McTuna deserves to be made fun of. And then here's Grayson Waller. Probably a lot of boos, but why does it feel like sometimes the reactions are piped in? And I'm not talking about with Waller, I'm talking about in general. Because that room is not very big, and there's no way the crowd reactions can be that, massive where it sounds like a small arena. But nevertheless, Carmelo says, I see a lot of them's, but only one him. So there you go. Kiana and Fallon argue like children. Jensen isn't going to be there because he doesn't want anything to do with Briggs and Fallon. She's driving a wedge between the country people. I think a lot of country people have, had something to do with writing this whole goddamn thing, if you get what I'm saying. Sol Ruca and Danny Palmer were taking turns topping each other while Tiffany said, what are you doing in my parking lot? But it's a public parking lot. Sol Ruca's a beast, and I mean that with the most respect. So, Dawn of Fire, or Fire Dawn, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn looking great. My God, they look great. Speaking of looking great, Kiana and Fallon, rematch of NXT Stand and Deliver for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We get a jump start by the challengers. There's a whole lot of really nice in this ring, is what I noted. And Kiana has improved. She did hit a nice moonsault a little bit later on. Actually, a pretty damn nice moonsault. Jensen shows up during this and is trying to get Fallon to use the handbag, the deadly handbag that's been so established. I think Kiana's used it like 4 times on TV. Maybe 6. But Kiana's been on television long enough to, unless you establish the bag, or a foreign object or an international object, as Ted Turner once wanted JR and Bob Cowell to say, unless you want that to actually be unless you want it to be established as, oh my God, so deadly, let's start booing, people are just like, oh, okay, they're going to use this then. Jensen gets upset at Fallon because she won't use it. The referee then sees everybody arguing like children, tosses Jensen because he's sick of this shit, and then he shoves Briggs, and then Fallon gets pinned. It looked like it looked like Alba landed on her neck. I hope she's all right. She hit the senton, but it looked like a roll bet. I hope she's all right. She was holding her neck, and I was like, shit, here, I'm going to move somebody with a bad neck and just throw her there. To be fair, it was a quick decision. I hope that Alba's okay, because that looked pretty bad. Hopefully just a bit of a stinger. Give her a little time off if you need. Hopefully it's all right. I mean, I don't think she broke it. I would be very, very surprised if she broke it, but hopefully she didn't fracture anything. So they're doing this whole thing where Jensen is choosing Kiana over Fallon and Briggs. Look at Kiana. I mean, well, no, that's unfair. You actually don't choose a significant other over friends, especially if the friends are right about the significant other. Nevertheless, can't we all get along before we watch these 4 get it on? That sounded better in my head. Noam Dar package without the beautiful Alicia for... Yeah, I'm not going to try to actually say that. He talks about the Heritage Cup. that I've only seen a couple matches of when I watched a couple things of NXT UK. 2 falls to a finish, 6 rounds, 3 minutes per round, and 20 to 30 minute rest periods between each round. Okay. I mean, that's not that bad. It's not that bad of a concept to get the right people in it. So, yeah, he's going to be the supernova and take over NXT. Chase University MVP presentation. This is stupid. This is monumentally stupid. Thea needs to calm down. She's going to have a stroke by the age of 20. And Duke actually says, I often say it's not about Chase me, it's about Chase you. This is the level of writing we are getting on NXT now, folks. NXT is made for children. I get it. I get that it's supposed to be entertainment. This isn't entertaining. This went on forever. And then here's Steiner to say the title is a curse. It was holding me back. They just shit all over their championship that this guy held for the better part of the last 15 months. He won it from Ciampa in January of last year. Lost it to Ziggler, a couple months later. Won it back on the Raw after Mania 38 and held it for almost a year. Oh, but it was holding me back. Yeah, great. Carmelo's like, thanks. Thanks, guys. You just made it seem like this title doesn't mean anything. He could say, he could say, I had my run with the championship. And now I have a new focus. Something. But just don't make it where you're shitting on the championship of your main brand. Or the main championship of your brand. And then he tells Duke, hey, you can replace me in the 4-way because I don't want anything to do with this shit. Then he blasts Andre Chase. If they had allowed him to blast Thea Hale would have been willing to take that spear and probably had taken it like a goddamn champ. So Duke then takes a trophy, the MVP trophy, and powders. Gigi talks about growing up in a really bad house, and her and her brother needed to escape. The mother was a real bitch. The pre-tape promos work better for her. Sometimes the live promos don't necessarily work best for her. This was fine for what it is, and now JC gave her a new focus. She's going to take all that anger from her childhood and point it right at JC. And then NXT Anonymous, Anonymous, sees Tony D and Stacks pipe crowbar one of Pretty Deadly and put him in the trunk. Unfortunately, they didn't leave them in the trunk. That's mean. Eddie Thorpe, who's an Indian DJ for some reason, the former Carl Fredericks, took on Javier Bernal. Okay, Damon Kemp shows up. I guess Damon Kemp's going to feud with Eddie Thorpe. This was fine. I got nothing against Javi. He's making the most of his TV time, but like it was the final cut or the final reckoning, Goldust or Dustin Rhodes' finish that he uses, the lift into the twist, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And Gallus then talked to Tank Ledger, who apparently is getting ready for his debut in 2 weeks, but he's going to have it tonight. Norman Smiley showed up. Always good to see Norman Smiley on television. Oh boy, the Dyad. Not the Schism, they're the Dyad. I thought they were the Schism. 4 Poots, 1 Tree. I think that's what that is. I thought Fowler and Reed wanted their release. Now, maybe they were talked out of it. Maybe they're just finishing up. I have no goddamn idea. If they take the pin in the 3-way tag match next week, I guess we'll know. Whatever they want to do, as long as they're happy, that's fine. Scripps then is upset at Axiom Verge about masks and such, and you can't expose me because I'm going to expose you. But what the... You can't hurt me because I'm going to hurt myself. I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind? What the shit is this? What the shit? Even the producer had to feel like chiming in because he didn't understand what the hell Scripps was saying. So you're going to come over here and you're going to talk about Scripps. You didn't even understand what the hell Scripps was saying. You can't expose me because I'm going to expose you. Hi. Look. Okay, so we've got Tiffany Stratton against Sol Ruca. You think Sol Ruca's neat, don't you? Hi. Okay. Okay, so Tiffany works on Sol Ruca's arm. Sol has great athletic ability. So does Tiffany. Don't misunderstand me. Enjoy the producer tale, by the way. And I like that Tiffany is picking the thing and focusing on the body part, and that's a good thing. I didn't like the trying to recreate the Ospreay Ricochet moment, so to speak. They're both athletic, but that kind of took me out of it. There was some other good stuff, though. More arm focus. Sol Ruca tried to fire back, kept selling the arm, and eventually triple jump moonsault 1, 2, 3. Tiffany gets a victory. That makes sense. They're really trying to feature Sol Ruca as somebody that will fight back, but isn't quite ready yet. And then Duke says, "Hey, Chase, thanks for taking one for the team. I'm going to win." And to be fair, they did give Duke quite a bit in the main event. Diamond Mine is more focused than ever. Apparently, Tatum Paxley has just been written off of television. It's like, I took care of Tatum. Okay, bye. And they're going after the tag titles. Tiffany then wants another shot at the women's championship. And then Cora Jade shows up. Good on her. This heel turn has actually worked well for her. That being said, this went on twice as long as it needed to. She kept mentioning various women, and then it seemed like she got lost. And I like Cora, don't get me wrong. She seemed to have a focus at first. Then she seemed to get lost. And she mentioned Roxanne's pressure, pushing down on her, no matter whatever. And Indy and Gigi, and this went way too long. Then she mentions Rise of Lyra Valkyria, this. She doesn't do this. What is this, by the way? And I like, Lyra has a good look, a very good look, in fact. She is really, and she's a captivating talent. You look at her and you're like, okay, I want to see more of her. And I mean that with respect, because she has a good look about her. But she says, you can cut through the women's division with your tongue. Can I watch? Moving on from that. This got gross. They then had a bit of a tussle, a bit of a brief brawl attempt. Okay. I mean, it was what it was. Wesley is then confronted by Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. They're like, how are you going to do on the ground when we tear your ligaments? Not supposed to do that. Not supposed to intentionally injure people. I mean, to be fair, it's their gimmick, but nevertheless. And then Ilya Dragunov beat the heavy metal lobotomized zebra Von Wagner. Robert Stone is no longer with him. That is the most I'm going to give to any Von Wagner match because I'm sick of Von Wagner. I don't hate him as a person. I hate the idea that also Booker compared him. Oh, Shaqs don't come along every single goddamn, time. He compared Von Wagner to Shaq. I want Booker fired. So anyway, yeah, Ilya won with the torpedo. So here's Dijak. He says, you say pain makes you feel alive? Fine, I'm going to make you feel immortal. Okay. Joe Coffey then beat Tank Ledger. Tank has some good fire. It's going to take him a while, but he was one of those NIL athletes, next in line athletes. Yeah. Gallus shows up. I just tune out because I don't care. They have kind of a cool theme, and then they make no goddamn sense when they talk. Roxanne, then here. Oh, by the way, the Schism, you saw the Schism show up, or the Dyad, and the Creed show up, and then the officials came out, and you were like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What? Yes. Yes, you're going to chime in about this. Okay, fine. Anyway, so basically, the Creeds and the Dyad, Schism, whatever, show up and do their thing, and they have a brawl, and oh my god, and then they fight. Then Roxanne talks to Tony D and Stax. Stop having Roxanne talk on camera until she's fucking ready. Please. And then Grandma Stark shows up and talks to Roxanne. And then she looks at Tony D and Stax and says, you're from Italy. I remember Leonardo da Vinci. I was there when the Sistine Chapel was made. Yeah. She was probably also there with Mussolini. Moving on. And then Pretty Deadly show up, seemingly getting out of the trunk and beating the shit out of Tony D and Stax. While Starks wonders if she could, go back to a time when she helped, found Sicily. So anyway, card rundown for next week, and then we have Grayson Waller, Dookie Nukie Hudson. Yeah, I had to throw that one in there a little bit. JD McTuna, that one's sticking because I don't like him. And Dragon Lee, who just feels like another guy. They gave Duke a lot. Dragon Lee got to do some stuff. Everybody got a chance to do their shit, but Grayson Waller snuck in the win after Dragon Lee hit the powerbomb on Duke. He hit Lee, covers Duke, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, in closing, I think you're getting sick of NXT like I am. You get your claws out of my shirt. Get your claws out of my shirt. You're sick of NXT like I am. There's some good stuff. Good stuff, huh? Okay. Well, agree, disagree, folks. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Riplin. This is the producer, sir. Adopt, don't shop. Adopt, don't shop. Okay, and I'll see you soon.